This is Steve Meehan for the Kent Pilot. Bob Altieri is the newly appointed president of Chesapeake Bank and Trust, headquartered in Chestertown. He's the fourth president of the bank, which was founded in 1986. Bob Altieri, welcome to the Kent Pilot and to Kent County.
Steve, it's great to be here. Thank you.
You spent much of your career in the leadership of two of Maryland's most successful community banks, Carrollton Bank and later Howard Bank. And you come to Chestertown with experience in community economic development lending as well. What attracted you to Chesapeake Bank, which is decidedly local?
Well, you nailed it, Steve. This is completely different from something I'm used to. At Carrollton Bank, we had 13 branches. We had $400 million in deposits. At Howard Bank, we were a $2.5 billion bank. So to be considered local, you are local to the Baltimore metropolitan area. But Chesapeake Bank, they're local. They're local to Chestertown. They're local to Kent County. And that's a cool thing. So you could tell, just walking the streets, you could tell that people were in tune with who you are, what you're doing, who you're associated with. And that's pretty awesome. You don't get that in the metropolitan area.
How has COVID-19 affected community bank business and operations?
Well, first off, let me say thank you to all our first responders, including our branch personnel. They've been there from day one. The impact on COVID, or the impact that COVID has on community banks is interesting. First off, we're a partner, especially with the businesses. The amount of loans that we're doing just as a small community bank under the PPP program, which obviously the government has rolled out and we're in the second phase right now, is awesome. We're able to reach out to our community businesses, which have been extremely impacted, and helping them through this process. So it's good to be that. From a traffic standpoint, just from a branch standpoint, it's way down. People aren't going into the branches anymore, though they don't need to because of all the electronic items you have out there, the processes and systems you have out there to do things online. So it's been an interesting time, that's for sure. And honestly, my heart goes out to the businesses in the community because they have been hugely impacted.
You come with a background in community economic development lending. And how is that appropriate, or how could you apply that to a small county like Kent County?
Well, first off, my community involvement, my community lending involvement was a mission-based lending involvement, which involved minorities, people of color, and it focused mainly in Baltimore City. And it was pretty awesome to think that we can help businesses that typically aren't bankable, and we're able to do that. That was a pretty awesome mission, and it was a good 8 months of my life going through that process because it taught me a lot. And not only did it teach me a lot about lending, it taught me a lot about people. And I'd like to take that to Chesapeake Bank as well because we're, as you said earlier, we're a community bank, Steve. That's what we do. So we help people. And it's important, regardless of your race, regardless of your religion, regardless of anything, that we're able to help our community.
Well, isn't also it's an opportunity to expand the local economy just by the fact you have these businesses opening up, taking off?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Businesses are bread and butter, especially the small businesses. They support our economy, and it's important. Again, I'm referring to Chestertown because of the type of economy that's here. You don't have big box stores here. You have mom and pop shops, and it's so important to support them. Not only from a lending side, but offering the products and services that banks typically offer.
What are your goals for Chesapeake Bank for 2021?
To keep the train on the tracks.
Keep the train, I like that.
Keep the train on the tracks. It's a really good bank. If you take a look at the financial statements, it's a real good bank. But that's all because of the people. The people that are running the bank are special people, and that's important. And they've been here much, much, much longer than me. So I rely on them. All banks are the same. What we have that's different than most banks are the people. I believe our people are superior. I believe that our people offer the services that most businesses, most individuals really want from a community bank, a true community bank. You know, Steve, I walk down the street and people say, hey, you're the new president of the bank. You would never, ever get that anyplace else. That's pretty awesome. It really is.
Well, and you meet your depositors and your borrowers
Absolutely.
right on the street.
Absolutely.
Bob Altieri, thanks for joining us today.
Steve, thank you.
And for the Kent Pilot, I'm Steve Meehan.